Let's begin by taking a look at our lesson objectives for this review lesson. First, we'll practice SI prefix conversions. Then we'll learn a trick to checking your answers. And lastly, we'll practice unit conversions. All right, well, let's start with our SI prefix conversions. Remember, our SI prefixes are these prefixes that make numbers bigger or smaller. Like tera means 10 to the 12th or a trillion. Meanwhile, kilo means 1,000. Let's jump right into a practice problem using these conversions. Let's convert 384 megameters to kilometers. Now, I didn't just make up this number randomly. It comes from a kind of cool example. If you're chilling out on the moon, then you're 384 megameters from home. That's a lot of meters. Let's figure out how many kilometers that is. So, here are the steps. First, we want to identify the exponents that go with our prefixes. Notice that mega goes with 10 to the positive 6, while kilo goes with 10 to the positive 3. We're going to take those exponents and we'll take the difference. We'll do starting minus target. So we're starting in mega. So we'll take 6 and then we'll subtract the prefix we're going to, which is kilo, which has an exponent of 3. Remember, the exponent is just that number up top above our 10. So 6 minus 3 gives me a positive 3. Great. What do I do with that positive 3? Well, that tells me how many times I want to move the decimal. In this case, I need to move it 3 times. And if the difference between my exponents is positive, that means I should make it bigger. If the difference in my exponents is negative, that means make the number smaller. So for positive 3, we want to take 384 and we want to make the number bigger. We're going to move our decimal 1, 2, 3 times to make it bigger. That gives us 384,000 kilometers. Okay, well, now let's take a look at that trick for checking our answer. Here's the deal. If you're going to a smaller unit, so in this case, 384 megameters, so megameters is a big unit, kilometers is a smaller unit, then your number should get bigger. And notice that's exactly what we saw, 384 megameters to 384,000 kilometers. So our unit got smaller and our number got bigger. Well, let's take a more terrestrial example. Here's a swimming pool. Now, a standard swimming pool in the United States is 25 yards. Let's say we want to figure out how many inches that is. Well, we're going from a big unit, yard, to a smaller unit, inches, so our number should get bigger, and indeed it does, it's 900 inches. Let's practice another one of these SI prefix conversions. This is human hair. Human hair turns out to be really small. Let's take just one human hair and zoom way on and on. How much does it weigh? It weighs 0.4 milligrams, almost nothing at all. Well, let's see how many kilograms that is. Let's convert 0.40 milligrams to kilograms. We'll follow the same steps. But before we do that, let's think about what our answer should be. So this is again reviewing our trick for guessing what the answer should be. So we're going 0.40 milligrams to kilograms. Now notice our unit is getting bigger. And if we're going to a bigger unit, then your number should get smaller. And hopefully that makes sense. We're measuring the same mass with a much bigger unit, and so it'll be a smaller number. So we know at the end of the day that we're starting with 0.40 milligrams and we're going to kilograms. We don't know the answer yet, but we know it should be a smaller number. This will actually help us to catch a lot of different mistakes we might make. All right, with that in mind, let's actually do the problem. So here's your chance to pause the video, give this a try, and see if you get the right answer. Were you able to find the answer? You should have gotten 0.000004 kilograms, almost no kilograms at all. Notice that here when we took the difference, we got a negative 6. So we needed to make our number much smaller by moving that decimal to the left. All right, hopefully that helps you feel somewhat more comfortable with your SI prefix conversions. Now, let me tell you the most important SI conversions ever. Here are the two that you'll see over and over and over again. 1,000 grams equals 1 kilogram, and 1,000 milliliters equals 1 liter. Maybe you already have these memorized, and if so, great. Otherwise, write these down or take a picture if you must. I hope you don't have your smartphone with you. Maybe you're watching this on your smartphone. In any case, somehow capture this information. You're going to use it in the last part of this lesson. Now let's take a look at unit conversions. We'll solve a couple problems here. First up, how many kilograms are in 7.4 ounces? Notice I've told you that there's 16 ounces and 1 pound, and that 1 pound is equal to 453.6 grams. Let's get our conversion train tracks out here, and let's start with our 7.4 ounces. We know we want to go to kilograms, which I like to write way over there on the right-hand side. So in our first step, we're going to get rid of ounces because that's what we're starting with. And if I look at my conversions, I can see that the only one I have that has ounces in it also has pounds in it. So I'm going to be going from ounces to pounds. Then I'll fill in the number. 16 goes with ounces and 1 goes with pound. All right, now I have pounds and I want to get rid of that. And I can see that the only thing I could go to with the information given is grams. And then once again, I'll fill that in with my equality. 453.6 goes with grams and 1 goes with pound. Now you're kind of stuck, right? Because you have grams and you want kilograms, and I didn't give you that conversion, but remember, this is one of the most important conversions ever. So hopefully if you look down in front of you, you should see that there's 1,000 grams and 1 kilogram. So we'll cancel out grams, we'll go to kilograms, and we'll fill that in with the information that you should definitely memorize. It comes up over and over and over again. Grab your calculator and see if you can work through this and get the number. You should do 7.4 divided by 16 times 453.6, and then divided by 1,000. If you do that, you'll get 0.20979. 7.4 has 2 sig figs, so we would like to round to 2 sig figs, and then 9 makes that 0 round up, and we'll get 0.21. Then we'll tack on our unit, which is kilograms. All right, let's look at a similar conversion problem. Here we're asked how many liters are in 3.2 quarts. So we know we're starting with our 3.2 quarts, and we want to take that all the way to liters. Here's your chance to pause the video and finish out this conversion. Just a little tip, you're going to need one of the other most important conversion factors that we talked about moments ago. Were you able to get it? You should have gotten 3.0 liters, and here's all the work that you needed to get there. Let's review what we've learned. We practiced SI prefix conversions, where we saw that we would move decimals around to go from one SI prefix to another. Then we learned a trick to checking your answers. We saw that if you're going to a smaller unit, your number has to get bigger. And if you're going to a bigger unit, your number has to get smaller. Lastly, we practiced unit conversions. Hey, hey.